Tale of the Tape brought to you by Dave & Buster's, the only place to eat, drink, play, and watch sports.
You can take a look at this, 10-4, a lot more experience, but 4-0, and Eric Ellington is not used to losing. This should be exciting.
With the official introductions, here is the voice of Bellator MMA, Michael C. Williams.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome. Just outside of St. Louis, this is the Family Arena tonight. The host for Bellator MMA, presented by Miller Lite. For those joining us live on the Bellator MMA app, we welcome you as we get set now inside the Bellator cage to go. 3 5-minute rounds in the bantamweight division. Introducing the blue corner at 5'6", weighing in 135.4 pounds. His professional record undefeated, 4 victories, no defeats, fighting out of East St. Louis, Illinois. Introducing Eric Big Dog Ellington. And across the cage, his adversary, fighting out of the red corner at 5'9", weighing in 136 pounds even as a professional. He brings 10 wins, 4 defeats by way of St. Louis. He fights out of Jefferson City, Missouri, presenting Jordan Howard. In charge of the action, your referee, Mike England.
Great fighter, let's fight, first round.
Fight clock brought to you by Miller Lite, great taste and only 96 calories. 3 5-minute rounds in the Bellator MMA bantamweight division. The current 135-pound champion, Darian Caldwell. And in the red gloves, you have Jordan Howard. In the blue gloves, Eric Ellington.
Eric Ellington have a little bit of problems with his footing there. That's part of being excited in the cage. Just got to settle down, do what you do.
Ellington undefeated at 4-0. Went 3-0 last year. In February, took a fight on 24 hours notice, moved up to lightweight, jumping up 2 weight classes against Kagan Mullen. And Ellington recorded the 3rd round TKO as he tries to establish that jab early.
You got to look at Ellington. Look at the upper body for a 135-pound guy. I mean, he's carrying a huge amount of muscle mass. Strange to see, and it's like, what scale did he step on?
Jordan Howard comes from a fighting family. His dad, Rob, a former competitor and promoter. Younger brother, Corbin, is coming up in the ranks. Howard had a 9-fight win streak that was snapped. It had been 5.5 years since Howard had been defeated, but he tasted defeat, losing a unanimous decision to Brandon Black in December at Bellator 189. A minute and a half gone of this getting to know you opening round.
And both guys are feeling each other out. If you watch what is going on, Jordan is trying to set Ellington up. He keeps on moving himself just a little bit left, a little bit right, and he's trying to get Ellington to extend out and try to move so he can counter. It's just both guys right now a little cautious with everything.
Howard is 10-4, 4 knockouts, 4 submissions. Ellington again undefeated, looking to improve his win streak to 5-0. Under 3 minutes left in the first frame. Just getting started here at Family Arena just outside of St. Louis. A quality quartet coming your way at 9 Eastern. On Paramount Network, simulcast on CMT, and of course you can see it on the Bellator app, Bellator 197, coming your way later tonight.
I've watched Ellington before in fights. I've never seen him on the ground. I've watched him even in kickboxing. I've never seen a guy take him down. That's the one thing that I do believe that right now Jordan Howard has as an advantage, but he's being smart in not shooting for takedowns and letting things flow. Let the fight come to you. Don't force anything.
Ellington walking down Howard. Howard utilizing some lateral movement, but now feinting, trying to get Howard to deliver. 2 minutes left in the first.
You can see right there, both guys are waiting. I want to counter.
Yes.
And they're waiting, and they're giving a little bit of a feint and trying to get the other guy to come at him. and then all of a sudden they're freezing up, and it's both have a lot of respect for each other.
Kind of like I froze up there for a second, John.
Nah, you'd never do that, brother.
Minute 45 left in the first 5 minutes. Hey, I think I got a chuckle out of Eric Ellington there.
Yeah,
sporting a quick smile. I'm sure it was showing some kind of a psychological salvo at Jordan Howard. A minute and a half left, and Howard watching Ellington dart in and out, but not really returning fire. No one really establishing an attack yet.
He did it, and you watch that last attack by Ellington, and you see that big right hand he throws. And Howard did a really nice job of sitting there and just a little bit of movement with his foot, bring the head out. But in that situation, you have got to counter offensively. That's how you're going to score, and that's going to be the difference in the fight for you. Don't wait.
Oh, good
nice
right hand there by Howard over the top. Kick and the takedown, level change by Ellington, securing the takedown in the final minute, John, and trying to send a message to the judges.
You know what? Just getting the takedown is not going to be the difference in you winning the round. It's what do you do with the takedown.
So says you.
So says me, but in this position right now, he's doing a good job of creating pressure. Look what Howard's trying to do. Howard's trying to bring his back up onto the fence. That way he can wall walk, get himself back to his feet, get out of the position. Howard needs to think about, I want to bring his hips up off of the mat, bring him back, put his back down, and then let me work.
Ellington, cognizant of the fact of experience being on the side of Howard, but Ellington secures the takedown and keeps Howard pinned to close out the opening round. Howard bouncing up at the bell.
Good job, guys.
Really good job right there when you're seeing Howard is trying to work his way to get to that fence and get himself up. Ellington doing the right things. That difference of just controlling that position is not what judges are looking for. They're looking for the damage that he does on the ground. Right here, you take a look. Nice right hand by Jordan, man. Just waited, brings it right across. Good kick, but you see how he ended up turning on that kick, giving Ellington the ability to get an easy takedown.
Referee Mike England calls for the bell. This is round number 2. Jordan Howard, sporting the red gloves, was instructed in between rounds to throw the straight right over the lazy kicks of Eric Ellington, who was in the blue gloves. Ellington did secure a takedown at the end of the first round, but Howard was able to bounce back up to his feet before the round ended.
Just before the round ended, but you got to look.
By Howard.
You got to give the round to Eric Ellington. The stand-up was close. The grappling was just a little bit more in Ellington. That's what's going to give him the edge in the judges' scorecards.
Tenacious Ellington secures another takedown. Howard in the butterfly, momentarily in the butterfly guard, now in the open guard.
I'm impressed that Ellington is working as a complete mixed martial artist. He's not just staying with the stand-up. He's saying, you know what, I'm having a little bit of difficulty in landing good shots. Let me put you in a position where I think I'm going to be able to be more effective, and that's what he's doing.
Ellington told us that Howard expects him to just come out and out-wrestle him, be stronger. He says he's going to be bigger. Well, and thus far he has indeed out-wrestled him with the 2 takedowns.
He has. You know, what he's doing right now is he's keeping pressure and keeping the fight in a position, but he needs to start to actually posture and bring some type of offense that's going to let the referee say, you're working to try to end the fight in this position, I'm going to let you stay, or the referee's going to end up standing him up if he doesn't do anything more than just a little body head.
And we did hear referee England doing it again right now, imploring him to work. Howard neutralizing the right arm of Ellington, trying to stay busy from the bottom, slashing elbow strikes from the bottom. Has to be careful. No rabbit elbows allowed, of course.
And what you're seeing from Howard is an open guard, so what he's doing is he's got a position where he can swing into some submissions. He's not trying to hold on to Ellington. Ellington is actually the one trying to slow the fight down. That's an offensive attack from underneath by Howard.
2 minutes have ticked away here in the middle frame. Howard trying to swivel his hips, now just controlling Ellington's head, trying to force a potential break. It looked like he was rotating hips in terms of maybe going for the Kimura on this side, but Ellington keeping a good grip on him and delivering some short right hands.
Well, what he was doing is he was controlling posture, and he actually brought his hand up over the top. He was actually thinking about swinging into a triangle to bring his leg up over it. Ellington was smart enough to feel that pressure and bring his arm inside so it stopped that triangle.
Just past the midpoint of the round and the fight, you are watching Bellator MMA bantamweights in action here during the prelims. Howard looking for his 11th victory. Ellington looking to improve to 5-0. Referee England had seen enough of the static display, brings them back up to their feet.
Both fighters starting to get a little flat-footed, which is telling you there's a little bit of fatigue on both. They're starting to feel the time going by. But at this point right now, Jordan Howard is in a position where he looks to like he wants to attack more, where Ellington is actually waiting.
Howard
you don't want to wait.
Fighting from the southpaw stance, changes back to orthodox. Front kick by Howard, then from southpaw, delivers a right jab. Question mark kick.
Very nice. What he's looking to do is make that arm stay down, protect the body, and bring it straight up to the head. That's how you keep your opponent guessing.
Overhand right by Howard. Now it's Ellington momentarily going to southpaw, pays for it, changes levels, looking for the third takedown, and Eric Ellington gets his third takedown on the fight, coming up on the final minute of round number 2.
He gets the third takedown of the fight, but when you're watching this, you can see that Jordan Howard is the guy who's actually trying to be offensive. Ellington's starting to wait. He's starting to just look at letting time go by instead of going after Jordan Howard. Jordan Howard went after him. That's where he gave him the opportunity for the takedown, and that's why it's in the position it is right now.
And Ellington securing the takedown, but just not looking to improve position, and it's Howard that is trying to force the fight from the bottom.
He is forcing the fight. Look at the open guard. That right there is telling you, I'm not trying to just hold on to you. I'm trying to swing into submissions. I'm trying to create angles that are going to give a problem in this fight for you, so you can't just sit here and hit me with big shots. Ellington has not hit him with a solid shot while on the ground. He's giving little shots to the body, but he doesn't have the ability to open up with a big shot based upon what Howard's doing.
We are through 2 rounds in this bantamweight affair. Eric Ellington with 3 takedowns.
You can watch this round. You see the takedown by Ellington. Ellington's a guy, he's controlling the fight. He's landing some shots. Jordan is the guy, he's trying hard to land the shots. You got to give the round to Ellington. He had more control of the fight, and that's really the element that was there for that round. 10-9 Ellington.
Blood trickling down the side, the right side of Jordan Howard's face. It appears it's at the hairline, John.
Yeah, don't know exactly when that occurred. Could have been one of those elbows that he was trying right at the end.
Howard in the red gloves, Eric Ellington in the blue gloves. Ellington has showcased his wrestling advantage, but again has not capitalized on said advantage.
Not yet. I like the fact that, look at, Jordan is coming out and he's trying to press. He knows that, you know what, I want to put this guy in a bad position. He's starting to slow down in what he's doing. He's carrying a lot of muscle in that frame. It's got to be getting a little heavy, but holding those arms up. Ellington needs to be smart. He needs to settle himself down, look for that opportunity to bring the fight back to the ground, because that's where he's actually been able to slow Jordan down in what his offensive output is.
Despite being heavily muscled, Ellington feels that the oxygen that those muscles require, he still feels he's in way better shape than Howard, who we know likes to press the action and is putting the pressure on here to kick off round 3 from the southpaw stance, lands a straight left.
And pressure creates an anxiety, and it wears you down. Having someone that's coming forward so you can't relax is something that is not easy to deal with, especially when you're a young fighter. You've got to get used to that, and you've got to get used to just taking your time.
Ellington feinting Howard, looking to get him to react. Ellington always dangerous, always ready to change levels, as Howard, though, touches him up with the combination.
Switch to southpaw, hit him with a beautiful straight left.
There's a jumping knee by Howard.
You can see,
and another takedown, well timed by Eric Ellington.
And the difference in the takedowns of what you're seeing is Ellington's not landing the takedown to be offensive. He's doing it to stop Jordan Howard's offensive abilities.
So what do you look for Ellington to do from this position, as Howard is fishing for that submission?
This is exactly what you expect Howard to do. Don't accept. Nice sumaplata, comes up, uses it as a beautiful reversal.
And now it's Howard was fishing for that guillotine choke. We're into the third round. Perspiration and balance played a factor there, not able to get the leverage needed.
And the posture of Ellington, just basically the strength. Obviously, he's a strong man, and he was trying to get his posture down and couldn't do it.
Ellington has spent the fight taking Howard to take down City, but again, John, an opportunity here. What should Ellington be trying to do? As Howard is really the one who's active from the bottom.
Ellington needs to bring his head up more over the top of Howard. Right now, with his head sitting in his sternum, he's having to reach up, and you can't generate power in that. Create a problem for the man on the bottom. Well,
that's agree with that?
Absolutely, because my top man is not, he's the one stalling the fight. If my top man's stalling the fight, stand it up.
What a pleasure it is to have the greatest referee in MMA history now at the broadcast table, where he is a walking encyclopedia of the sport. 1 minute and 40 left. Howard putting the pressure on Ellington. Howard knowing that perhaps the judges giving Ellington maybe even too much credit for the takedowns, John. At this time, we do not know.
But they might be, but right now, he's winning this round. All right, everything's occurred. He's landed the heavier blows. The takedown really didn't amount to anything because Ellington didn't do anything with
right
it.
Uppercut.
Really nice. And if I was Howard's coach, I'd be screaming for him to stay in that southpaw position.
Ellington, and that is one area Howard needs to work on, is the takedown defense.
You know, sometimes some guys are so explosive, you're waiting for it. And as you try to become offensive, they utilize that motion and they're able to get into you.
Well, the scouting report.
But he's getting up. You look at he's not settling, and you gotta like what you see out of Jordan Howard.
Beautiful escape, back up to his feet, creating separation with 45 seconds left in the fight.
This is a guy trying to win the fight. This is what you want to see from your fighter.
And again, Ellington delivers yet another takedown. Ellington, known as a strong, straight-ahead wrestler. Howard coming off his first loss since 2012, calling it a humbling experience. He may be, it all depends on how the judges score this fight. He may be on the verge of realizing his second straight setback as we are into the final 10 seconds. Eric Ellington's takedowns have been the difference in this bantamweight fight.
What they've been is the difference in him being able to stay in the fight.
Unofficially, John, how do you score it?
Unofficially, I have this fight 29-28. I'm giving it to Ellington, but that last round was absolutely going to be Jordan Howard's round on my card because he was the one that landed the more effective techniques in that round.
And why do you give it to Ellington then, 29-28?
Because if you look at the first round, neither guy landed any significant strikes. The difference of that round really was the takedown and the couple of strikes that he landed on the ground being more than what Howard did. You look at the second round, he landed a couple, and again, Howard didn't land any significant strikes. You can say that really hurt him. That's what judges are looking for.
Ladies and gentlemen, having gone the distance, we'll go now to your three judges at cage side. Your first judge, Travis Busking, scores the fight 29-28. He scores the fight for Ellington. Your second judge, Sal Diamato, scores the fight 29-28. He sees the fight for Howard. Your third and final judge at cage side, Robin Veal, scores the fight 29-28 for the winner by split decision, Eric Big Dog Ellington.
This is Josh Sampo coming back. He is a fun fighter to watch, and Dominic Mazzotta, unbelievably aggressive. The Honey Badger, both have great records. This is going to be a fight to watch.
Here's Michael C. Williams.
Ladies and gentlemen, tonight, Miller Lite presents Bellator MMA from the Family Arena. We now go to the bantamweight division, set for 3 5-minute rounds. We'll introduce first the blue corner. At 5'5", weighing in 135.4 pounds. His professional record, 11 wins, 5 losses. He fights out of St. Charles, Missouri. Introducing Josh the Gremlin Sampo. And across the cage is the adversary, fighting out of the red corner at 5'7", weighing in 135.4 pounds. As a professional, he comes in tonight with 13 victories, just 2 defeats. From Lower Borough, PA, he fights out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida, presenting Dominic, the Honey Badger Mazzotta. And the referee in charge of the action, Dwayne Bess.
Dwayne Bess, referee, but let's take a look at the flashback from Mazzotta's last fight, his bantamweight Bellator debut.
Watch the power here for a 135-pound guy. Look at the elbows he throws, the explosion. He is the Honey Badger for a reason. He's mean and he goes after guys.
And it was Mazzotta recording the victory over Matt Lozano at Bellator 186 last November. This fight clock brought to you by Miller Lite, great taste and only 96 calories. Josh Sampo in the blue gloves, the Honey Badger Dominic Mazzotta in the red gloves, and Sampo, the UFC vet, returning to competition for the first time in 1,056 days, nearly 3 years, the longest of his more than 9-year career, and he's trying to snap a 3-fight losing streak as he gets taken down by Mazzotta, but it's Sampo looking for the guillotine.
Not only gets taken down, but he got hit with a right hand that put him in that position. You look at what he had, good thing that he let go of the head. He was in a bad spot. Great positioning by Mazzotta. Look at that, how he gets himself into side control. He's looking for a crucifix position. He has the arm. It's just a matter of him opening up, and he's doing this to a really good grappler.
Mazzotta recently making some big moves in his life. Married his sweetheart in Las Vegas. Moved to Florida to train at the Hard Knocks 365 gym. Henry Hooft assembling quite a group down there.
He has got a hell of a team going right now. He's got Michael Chandler, we just saw Adam Borch, incredible fighters out of that gym right now.
Chandler, of course, headlining Bellator 197 against short notice replacement Brandon Girtz. Right now, Mazzotta continues to control Sampo. Sampo was off for that period of time for a variety of reasons, including the passing of his father. Needed to make sure his mother was looked after, as again, Mazzotta passing guard into side control. But Sampo has 2 college degrees, a teacher. He's back fighting because he loves the competition. It's not to be famous, not to make a whole lot of money. He just wants to prove that he can still hang.
He loves the competition until someone like Mazzotta comes and starts taking his arms away and putting him in really bad positions in this fight. You've got to be impressed what Dominic Mazzotta is doing against a really outstanding, tough grappler.
Yeah, Mazzotta suffered a knockout loss to A.J. McKee, who is going to be a part of Bellator 197 in his toughest test against Justin Lawrence, but Mazzotta really taking it to Sampo here in the first round, controlling him on the ground.
He's going to get what we call a reverse crucifix on here, having him upside down. Just beautiful grappling by both guys.
Yeah, nice scramble.
Mazzotta's, he's winning the striking war in the grappling game, but you see Josh Sampo not settling. He keeps moving to get himself to a better position.
Do you believe in, well, ring rust in the boxing ring, cage corrosion as I call it, do you believe that it exists? Others like Dominic Cruz don't.
Well, to sit there and say, does it exist? There's a feel and there's an ability to control emotion that comes with stepping in that cage in recent time. Some guys are able to put all that to the side. Not all guys are. You know, Josh Sampo right now is showing, hey, his ability to think during the fight is outstanding, and he just showed it right with that motion right there.
He has a high IQ, whether it's in the cage or outside of it. Again, 2 degrees, a science teacher, but it's Mazzotta again getting the takedown and moving right into side control where there are so many viable options.
Outstanding work. You see Mazzotta trying to bring knee on belly. Sampo not accepting it, moving his hips and putting him into a nice butterfly guard, which is a very offensive guard. And Mazzotta doing exactly what you teach somebody. Someone does that, I want you to bring pressure towards his head and start opening up and hurting him.
There's a cut that's been opened up on Sampo, courtesy of Dominic Mazzotta's unrelenting attack. And now Sampo trying to control posture, but it's Mazzotta able to separate and deliver flurries with a minute now remaining in the opening 5 minutes. Can Sampo survive his comeback after almost 3 years on the sideline.
You looked at what Dominic did there. He crushed his hips down. Sampo's moving to get him back to guard.
Oh, Sampo
Got a nice little bit of a leg, but doesn't have a hold of it, but uses it to try to get the reversal. Dominic back up, ends up on top again. He's winning all of the scrambles. He's getting himself in the top position. Usually we talk about a guy getting his head high, and he's getting his head high. He's going for a leg lock right now.
Nothing but a good old-fashioned country scramble here in Missouri. Under 30 seconds left in the opening round. It's Mazzotta now trying to transition maneuver into a possible knee bar.
You see the figure 4 that Josh Sampo is utilizing to keep his leg locked inside. Dominic's trying to pull that leg apart because he's trying to go for the knee bar. Now he's trying to extend it out.
Grappling here in the opening round at Family Arena.
You gotta love everything you've seen is still going at the end.
Shades of Mauricio Shogun Hua back in his Pride FC days.
The dive in, but look at the legs. Look at what nothing hits because Mazzotta is utilizing a good defense. He utilizes his legs to keep him away. In this position, look at the heavy elbows coming down. Each one of those is racking him. He's blocking some, but you can see that they're getting in through that defense. Those take a toll.
So we are set for round 2 in this matchup between bantamweights. Referee Dwayne Best calls for the bell. Dominic Mazzotta, the Honey Badger, in the red gloves. Josh Sampo in the blue gloves. How did you score the opening 5, John?
Oh, the opening 5's easily. It's a dominant round as far as Mazzotta, but Sampo kept fighting. It's 10-9 easily for Mazzotta.
We talked about Mazzotta having his Bellator debut spoiled by A.J. McKee. Also ended a 9-fight winning streak. Mazzotta's only other MMA loss came back in 2014 to now former UFC champion Cody Garbrandt.
Yeah, you look at the 2 guys that Dominic has lost to, A.J. McKee and Cody Garbrandt. He's doing okay.
Yeah. Meanwhile, for Sampo, after he defeated Ryan Benoit in his Octagon debut, he lost 3 straight against Zach Makovsky, Patrick Holohan, and Justin Scoggins. And again, has had a lot of family stuff to deal with, professional stuff. Has a family, and yet got a call from his manager out of nowhere, he says, and got this opportunity to come back and compete here in Bellator, but just got taken down again by Mazzotta.
He did. You see, he started to go to a guillotine. He's used to that guillotine. He's used it for a lot of his fights to get wins. He even did it against the ex-Cuban Olympic wrestler in Alexis Villa. Got him in a guillotine choke. But you see what Mazzotta's doing with his head when he does the takedown, and he's grabbing the fence right there. He should be letting go of it. But Mazzotta's positioning is beautiful in this fight right now. Keep your head out of there. There you go, move. He is positionally just dominating this fight.
Sampo signed for 1 fight. This is it, but hoping it leads to other opportunities. Thus far in tough against the Honey Badger, Dominic Mazzotta. And Mazzotta with some ground and pound. Half guard, and Mazzotta just continuing to attack Josh Sampo. 2 minutes gone in the second round.
And you can hear those elbows hitting, Moro. You know they have power behind them, the way they're sounding when they hit.
Mazzotta, well-rounded individual, experienced, and Sampo knew that Mazzotta was going to be bringing the fight to him. That's what excited him. I don't know how excited he is right now, John.
No, you know, look at he wanted to come back and fight, and he's giving it everything he has right now. These elbows are starting to diminish him. You see what's going on with the fight. Mazzotta is at times keeping his head low, and then as he feels Josh Sampo open his guard, he brings the pressure up. Look what I'm looking at right here, and he starts bringing heavy shots down, which forces Josh Sampo to try to bring him and hold on to him. He closes his guard back up, makes him defensive. This is an outstanding offensive display in all elements by Dominic.
A 3-fight losing streak for Sampo, and a rewarding school job. Well, no surprise that, you know, he concentrated on what pays the bills there for a while, but Dominic Mazzotta making him pay here in round 2 under 2 minutes left. Ground and pound from Mazzotta. Sampo opening the guard, but not being able to control, trying to control Mazzotta, but Mazzotta the wide base. Look at that attempt at the guard pass.
You got to look at both guys and what they're doing. It's just outstanding motion.
Great grappling.
Mazzotta right now, if he can take that arm, hook his leg, there you go. He's going to be going for that arm bar. Josh Sampo's in a good position to stop it. He needs to continue to center himself up. Don't have that angle.
Less than a minute.
Angle is going to create the problem. Center yourself up.
Less than a minute and a half remaining in the second round. Mazzotta very calm, focused, trying to break that grip, trying to maneuver Sampo into that armbar position, but now Sampo.
Notice the angle of the hips. The hips are straight in line. He's not in danger anymore. He's the guy in the top position, but look at Dominic going offensive.
Wow, now looking for the triangle, but
he's going for that arm again. He's got that
belly down arm bar.
Josh doing a good job coming over the top. Great positioning. Great work by both guys.
And the canvas.
Impressive.
The canvas resembling a Friday the 13th motif here at the Family Arena in just outside of St. Louis, Missouri, but some terrific grappling and a tenacious attack by Dominic Mazzotta. But now, with 30 seconds left, it's Josh Sampo's turn to try to get some offense in.
And what you want to see, both guys in a position. When you saw Dominic Mazzotta with Sampo on top, he's getting his hips crushed, and all of a sudden Josh Sampo's being offensive. And as soon as he starts to extend that hip and have strength there, he pulls Josh out of the position, ends up with a transition, gets back on top. Incredible offensive output.
Let's go, fellas. Time.
Watch this scramble here, Morrow. You see he puts him in guard, switches it up to a triangle choke, tries to bring the arm into pulling that arm for that straight arm bar. Josh does a good job coming out the top, but he's got a reverse guard, everything in there. You look at both of these guys are putting 100% out. This is fun to watch.
Fight!
Third and final round. The Honey Badger, Dominic Mazzotta, in the red gloves, front kick there, grazing the chin of the Gremlin, Josh Sampo, in the blue gloves. How do you have it after 10 minutes?
No doubt about it. Josh Sampo has come out here and fought hard, but Dominic Mazzotta has taken both rounds, 10-9, easy.
Spinning back kick to the liver there by Mazzotta. And you heard Mazzotta's corner say that Sampo doesn't like to come forward. They want Mazzotta to keep putting pressure on him, keep his hips squared, keep putting pressure on top, but here comes Sampo forward, and obviously with 4.5 minutes left in the fight, he has to realize he has to take the fight to Mazzotta.
He has got to do something to change what has occurred in this fight. Mazzotta just has to stay with what he's been doing. Josh, in the stand-up, every time he tries to do a stand-up, Mazzotta takes him down and starts opening up on him. He needs to, instead of crossing his feet over like that, base yourself in and come straight in and put him against the fence, start to beat him up, but separate now because you don't have the time to sit here and just do clinch work.
Mazzotta's been giving Sampo some early looks in terms of the stance, spinning back elbow. That was a close shave. Left knee up the middle by Mazzotta, and a front kick. Neither doing any damage, but showcasing what is possible here as they try to engage here in the center of the ring. Mazzotta backs up, changes to southpaw inside low kick. Sampo a lead right hand, and it leads to another takedown by Mazzotta.
Takedown, but a great job of reversing what was occurring in Sampo.
Escape.
And then he goes, don't turn your back, don't sit there and take it. When you need to be on top, keep scrambling until you get there.
And Mazzotta working from the guard of Josh Sampo. Time ticking away for the UFC veteran, Sampo, making his Bellator MMA debut. Meanwhile, Dominic Mazzotta, 1-1 in Bellator, under 3 minutes left.
You see Sampo trying to force Dominic down, bring his legs up, work towards a multitude of submissions or reversals here. Dominic is bringing his head back. He's just slowly doing the offense needed to wear Josh Sampo down and to, in the eyes of the judges, just take a decision if that's the way this goes.
Mazzotta mixing up elbow strikes, hammer fists, looping lefts and rights. Just past the midway point of the final round, Sampo with the closed guard trying to block the attack of Mazzotta, now controlling the posture momentarily.
Let's go.
It's controlling. You see
there's some
utilizing a knee shield, try to move, get out, now start to pick up. Good, that's what you need to do. This is the offense that you have to create for you to win this fight.
2 minutes left. Sampo exploding momentarily, being controlled now by Mazzotta. Sampo passes guard into side control, and now here's where Sampo
he has
has
a
to
very
make some
good
MMA
chance to
magic.
get a Von Flue choke right now. He's got his hands closed. That arm is trapped. Mazzotta has his arm in a position right now. That left arm is not a place that he wants it. If Josh can continue to bring pressure down with his left shoulder, he can put Dominic out.
A minute and a half remaining in the fight.
He let go of those hands. That choke is gone. And now he's in a position of, got a simple half guard.
And Mazzotta will control posture, hopefully in his point of view, trying to force a break. He'll try to scramble from underneath. Sampo putting his weight on Mazzotta. Now, far side. There's an elbow strike from Sampo. Coming up on the final 60 seconds of this bantamweight bout between Josh Sampo and his Bellator MMA debut, and Dominic Mazzotta making his third appearance under the Bellator banner, dueling leg locks momentarily. And wow, the tenacity of Mazzotta. But look at Sampo, omoplata.
There was
Beautiful
so
grappling.
much going on there. You had a freaking knee bar at one side. It switched up to the other leg. Now into an omoplata. Beautiful
Remember
grappling.
Luis Buscape and Luis Azaredo back in the the Bushido days of Pride. High-level grappling. This may be the light version of that, but it's still some quality grappling, my
We have
friend.
an inverted guard going right now. Josh Sampo comes back out on top.
And a
Right to
full
mount.
mount. Sampo with 19 seconds left. 15 seconds to make Friday the 13th the luckiest day of his career. Can he pull it out?
Posture up. Needs the posture. Dominic coming back up. Takes the single.
Oh,
going for that
Sampo
guillotine.
looking for the guillotine.
Slipped out. Goes right to... Going for a straight ankle lock. Isn't going to happen.
Terrific grappling, and what a way to finish the fight between Josh Sampo and Dominic Mazzotta. The crowd here at Family Arena, many of them on their feet, showing their appreciation for the mixed martial arts, my man. It's not all about them drag down, barn burners, knockout affairs. That ground game is what makes MMA so especially beautiful.
It is, because there's so many different elements that can come in and win somebody the fight. Single leg takedown on that. Great positioning. This is a crucifix position. He's got his right arm trapped. Big elbows over the top. This was in the first round. The elbows that Dominic Mazzotta landed, those are absolutely devastating. They rock your world. Beautiful scramble here, going for the triangle, sitting out of it, going for a straight arm lock out of it. Josh moving his hips, ending up in the top position. A couple of different leg lock situations.
Wow.
Switches to a
Beautiful.
Look at that roll to
Gorgeous.
omoplata. Just beautiful, impressive grappling.
Ladies and gentlemen, having gone the distance, we'll go to your three judges. All three at cage side. Tim Francis, Justin Brown, and Rob Francis all see the fight the same. 30-27. All have it for the winner by unanimous decision. Dominic, the Honey Badger Mazzotta.
Derek Anderson is a young, tough fighter. Look at the age difference. Zach's a great fighter. Age is always a problem with speed.
With the official introductions, here's Michael C. Williams.
Bellator MMA presented by Miller Lite. Now goes 3 5-minute rounds at 165 pounds. Introducing the blue corner at 5'10", weighing in 164.9 pounds. His professional record, 18 wins, 9 losses, fighting out of Lawrence, Kansas, Zach Crash Bucia. And across the cage, his adversary, out of the red corner at 6 foot, weighing in 164.2 pounds as a professional. 14 victories, 3 defeats, fighting out of Vista, California, Derek the Barbaric Anderson. And when the bell rings, the referee in charge of the action, Jason Herzog.
Jason Herzog assigned duties in this matchup, contract weight of 165 pounds. Even though the ABC has implemented that weight class, Bellator has not. So, contract weight, it is Derek Anderson, Crash Zach Bucia. Fight Clock brought to you by Miller Lite. Great taste and only 96 calories.
Notice when you're looking at Derek Anderson, he doesn't just come in with one element.
High
He comes
amplitude.
in with multiple, hits the kicks, lands the punches. He's a guy that you have always got to be careful with. He's explosive, he's dangerous.
Derek Anderson in the red gloves. Bucia in the blue gloves, working from the bottom now. Spider guard, now back to the full guard.
Like what I'm seeing out of Zach as far as exactly, he's swinging his hips, going for the arm bar right there. And if you don't get it, then at least get top position.
Now Bucia looking for the submission. Bucia was supposed to face Zach Freeman, but Derek Anderson stepping in.
Can't see if Derek has his arm locked in here, but he's in trouble. This is not a good position. He doesn't want to be here, and Zach has the ability right now to cause him to go over, either decide to take top position, or if he believes he's got a chance that you see that arm cross right there. That arm bar is locked right now. He's not going to get the arm bar unless he takes that lockout.
10 of Bucia's 18 victories have come via form of submission. Anderson looking to bounce back from a unanimous decision loss to Derek Campos at Bellator 170 in January. Prior to that, he'd won 3 of 4 fights, including wins over 155-pound contenders Sadawad and Patricky Pitbull.
Zach Bucia right now is in a position with his hips. He wants to extend those hips, but he can't because of the lock that Derek Anderson has created with his arms.
Bucia has 6 first-round submission wins. In fact, he has 9 first-round stoppages, 3 KOs, 6 subs. Currently on a 3-fight winning streak. 2 minutes gone in the opening 5 minutes. Anderson trying to maintain his grip.
And he needs to be careful. Now he's got his arm free. He's out of there. You always have to be careful when that arm is in there. If I'm going to take that lock off to strike, make sure that I don't overdo and get back to being defensive.
Well, Anderson was able to feed Bucia a few left hands. Bucia doing a good job, though, of controlling Anderson along the fence. Now into the open guard, using the fence to propel himself away from the fence and control Anderson's posture.
And what you're seeing out of Zach Bucia is he keeps on creating angles. He keeps on turning his hips, and it's making Derek Anderson follow him to have to center up those hips so he is not in danger of a submission.
Bucia very active from the bottom. Anderson doing a good job of avoiding it.
Anderson's trying to posture and he's trying to get position, but Zach Bucia, whenever you see Derek starting to posture, he starts to move those hips, which creates the angle, and you see Derek starting to crush back down to stop what he's doing.
Anderson holds wins over Patricky Pitbull. He scored a knee knockout win over Brandon Girtz, who we will see in our main event later tonight.
What a huge knockout that was. Unbelievable.
And Girtz, of course, rebounding, and Girtz very durable. So for Anderson to stop Girtz in his track, showcasing what Anderson has to offer. In fact, 11 of Anderson's 14 wins have come inside the distance, 5 knockouts, 6 submissions, but having his issues with Zach Bucia here in the opening round. Nice escape. And again, another good grappling display here, John.
It is a great grappling. Derek Anderson is one of those guys, he flies under the radar. I don't know how it happens, but he's one of the most dangerous lightweights there is in Bellator or in the world, and he doesn't get the respect that he deserves because everybody he fights, he gives problems to.
And I apologize to the family of Zach Bucia. They can now refer to me as Ronaldo for the rest of their lives. 49 seconds left in the first 5 minutes. And again, Bucia now looking for the submission from the bottom.
He's got that same lock, so he's not going to pull that up, but you gotta love what you're seeing out of Zach Bucia because he is attacking. He's not settling for anything. To separate the head away from the arm is what he's trying to do with that top leg. Everything he's been doing underneath Derek Anderson is what we want to see in MMA.
Bucia working diligently for that arm bar. Anderson just stacking him up, alleviating as much of the pressure as he can with 15 seconds left in the first round. And after 5 minutes, it's a competitive affair. Anderson with some elbow strikes to close out the round.
Couple of good
There's 33-year-old Zach Bucia out of Lawrence, Kansas. And the 28-year-old Derek Anderson out of Vista, California. This is round number 2. Anderson begins the round with a couple of kicks, trying to determine the range and score some early points after being stuck in the guard of Bucia for a lot of that opening 5 minutes.
Stuck in armbar positions. I was listening to Derek Anderson's corner, and they're saying, you want to take him back down, take him back down. Well, that's great advice, but when you're down there, do not settle for being in his guard.
Bucia momentarily working from the southpaw stance. Bucia checks that inside low kick by Anderson. Anderson going around the guard with the left hook, and then that right kick just grazing Bucia. Lead right hand misses for Anderson.
If I was Derek Anderson in this fight right now, this is exactly where I would keep this fight. I would keep it on the feet, and I would make him have to come and try to get me down to that position
Anderson
again.
showcasing some bravado after Bucia delivered a left head kick that was blocked by Anderson. Anderson winding up with the uppercut misses.
You can see with Bucia, his offensive output in the stand-up is singles. He's not combining anything. He's backing
jab
off.
From Anderson. And again, the southpaw Bucia trying to deliver that left kick. Another kick blocked, though, so this appears to be where Anderson's in his comfort zone against Bucia.
Well, when you're in a fight, you have to transition. If you have the idea, I think I want to take him to the ground. And then when you go to the ground, you end up in danger. This is why MMA is what it is. You get a chance to say, I'm going to keep it on my feet. And right now, when Derek is coming in and being offensive, he's landing combinations.
Bucia attacking the lead leg of Anderson. Anderson marching forward, got that. His head popped back with that straight left hand from Bucia. And still out of the southpaw stance. Now switches as Anderson delivers a couple of stiff jabs.
What you got to look at the body position and posture, Morrow. When you see Zach landing shots.
Wow, the right uppercut. That left uppercut knocks Bucia down.
Mouthpiece came out.
Bucia eating a right uppercut and a left uppercut that jolted him and put him on the canvas. And now it is Derek Anderson who is working for his 6th knockout victory. Bucia hanging on for dear life in the open guard.
Stop, don't move. Mouthpiece in.
After what we saw in the first round right now, if I'm Derek Anderson's corner, I'm telling him, I want you to stand up. You hurt him. Don't let him off.
Can opener by Anderson. And this definitely behooves Bucia, trying to control the posture, allowing the adrenaline of Anderson's to subside.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about. Smart fighting.
Left kick and now left uppercut just misses. Anderson teeing up Bucia. Less than 2 minutes now remaining in the second round. Good lead right hand by the right cross by Anderson. Tagged Bucia, who closes the distance.
And again, he's on the ground. Don't go down to him. Make him come back up to where you are killing him.
Bucia controlling Anderson's posture with 1:44. So first round controlled by Bucia on the ground, but the second round is where we have seen the power of Anderson on display as he is scored with uppercuts and a high-octane offense before, again, being neutralized for the moment by Zach Bucia.
And again, Zach Bucia puts himself in a position for the armbar. It makes Derek Anderson defend. He's locked his arms in here. The armbar's not going to happen unless Derek Anderson makes a huge mistake. There you go.
Happy to say knees to the gluteus maximus. 1:11 left in the second. Bucia working from the closed guard. Anderson needs to posture up to continue to deliver his attack, but Bucia very, very crafty on the bottom. Anderson gets back up to his feet. Under a minute remaining. And Anderson, again, there's a body kick from Bucia. Bucia standing in the pocket, marching forward. Oh, jumping knee lands for Anderson. Jab scores. Right kick that was partially blocked by Bucia. That right cross almost landed.
There's
Short
just
right
a
uppercut.
huge difference in the power that both of these guys are putting out. What Derek Anderson is hitting Zach with is hurting Zach. What Zach is hitting Derek with, he is walking through.
You know, The Rock put the right uppercut on the map in Jumanji, and we've seen some vicious uppercuts in the heavyweight division in boxing. Derek Anderson utilizing the uppercut well here in round number 2 of this 165-pound contract weight matchup. Anderson taking the fight on short notice against Zach Bucia. And what a second round for the barbarian, Derek Anderson.
Here's the sequence. Look at that uppercut right there, Morrow. Huge left uppercut puts him down. He goes after him, and I don't blame him for going after him, but once you see that he's starting to survive, get up, make him stand up. Boom, right hand. Left hand uppercut's the one that puts him down now. There's the shot, puts him on the mat. Clean right hand, knocks the mouthpiece out again. Derek Anderson should have learned from the first round to the second round. I'm going to keep this fight on the feet.
This is round 3. Zach Bucia, Derek Anderson.
Are you ready? Are you ready? Fight!
Terrific fight through 10 minutes. Derek Anderson in the red gloves, Zach Bucia in the blue gloves. Bucia starting from the southpaw stance. Adjustments you want to see Bucia make here in round 3, John?
I want Bucia to get this fight to the ground, being either on top, and if you have to, on the bottom, go to the bottom, but don't stand with Derek Anderson. There's just a dramatic difference in power.
Mauro Ranallo, Big John McCarthy, Jen Brown here at Family Arena just outside of St. Louis, where we are just getting started. What promises to be a fantastic night of action. The 4-fight main card coming your way at 9 o'clock Eastern. Oh, what a left hook! And Bucia rolled with it. Felt the sting, but able to take most of that shot as Anderson beginning to find his range.
But you can see all of these shots are starting to take a toll on Zach and slowing down his progression of going after Derek. He's still got to be offensive.
Bucia on a 3-fight win streak, but has suffered 2 knockout losses. Anderson putting together his combinations. Right head kick. Anderson backing Bucia up to the fence momentarily. Anderson has 5 KOs. Inside low kick. Minute and a half gone in the final round. Now for Derek Anderson, I guess, John, you just want to continue. You see him continue to do what he's doing.
See that left hook land, then an uppercut. In the stand-up, Derek Anderson is putting out less energy and being way more effective because he's controlling it. He's comfortable.
Front kick by Anderson. We know another Anderson that's been able to do those.
Yeah, a couple front kicks.
2 minutes gone here in the 3rd round, and Bucia beginning to sport the vestiges of battle. But look at him in battle, in the thick of the battle, moving forward. Lead left hook by Anderson, right cross, and again that left uppercut. Bloody Mouse is opened up. I guess Bucia can take solace in the fact it's underneath his eye, John.
It's not going to affect him in the fight. That's the most important thing. Somehow I keep on seeing Derek Anderson trying to set up the right uppercut. He keeps on bringing that left hand out. You see him swing his shoulder, and he's dipping and then not throwing. He has the ability with his power to end this fight, but he's got to throw.
Winding left hook behind the guard by Anderson. Anderson takes a big gulp of air again. Take this fight, replacing Zach Freeman, but Anderson there taking a peek at the clock. 2 minutes left in the fight. Anderson acquitting himself well. Looking to snap Bucia's 3-fight winning streak. There's that left uppercut by Anderson.
Look at that kick. Every time Zach Bucia starts to come forward, Derek Anderson starts throwing a combination. It's just backing him off just a little bit, keeping him from being offensive. Zach Bucia needs to work to get this fight down.
Bucia landed a combination, landed the right hand and then the body kick. A minute and a half left in the fight. Bucia fighting from the southpaw stance, but now getting pegged by those lead right hands by Anderson.
2 straight lead right hands, clean.
Inside low kick that was checked by Bucia. Anderson trying to capitalize on his reach advantage. Bucia trying to befuddle Anderson with these different looks, but Anderson just walking forward and Trying to land with a minute left in the fight.
He does keep switching his stance, but he's being more effective from that southpaw stance. That's where it doesn't seem that Derek feels as comfortable. Nice jab.
Oh, jumping knee by Anderson.
Straight to the body.
45 seconds left in the bout. There's a combination put together by Bucia. He's got Anderson with the left kick. Anderson doing the veteran thing, closing the gap and taking Bucia down.
He was hurt by that, Morrow. You could see his legs stiffen up.
But Anderson able to nullify what could have been a very scary situation here on the 13th. And it's a Friday. And it's fight night here at Family Arena. Oh, and
he's in trouble right now. Not much time, but you can get that arm unlocked. He's got it.
High drama here in the final round between Bucia and Anderson. Great stuff.
Outstanding. Look at Zach finally comes. He goes to the combination, and that last bit with that left head kick, it hurts Derek. You see Derek start to stumble, his legs stiffen up. There's that straight leg.
Gabriel Gonzaga against the guy who mastered that left kick, Mirko Krokop.
Exactly.
And Mirko Krokop coming to Bellator, but it wasn't enough for Bucia.
Another look at it right here. Beautiful combination. That's when it works for you. When you hide the kick behind the hands, it can't be seen in the same way. It can't be reacted to. It lands.
Ladies and gentlemen, for the official scores, we'll go to your judges' scorecards. All three judges at cage side, Travis Busking, Chris Lee, and Sal Diamato, all see the fight the same. 30-27, all have it for the winner by unanimous decision, Derek Barbaric Anderson.
Barbaric Derek Anderson.
Look at this, we got two great fighters here. Big difference in age, that 8 years. Rebecca Ruth a little bit older. Juliana, tough girl.
Here's Michael C. Williams.
Bellator MMA presented tonight by Miller Lite now moves to the flyweight division, set for 3 5-minute rounds. Introducing the blue corner. At 5'6", she weighed in 126 pounds even. Her professional record, 6 victories, no defeats. Hailing from Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, introducing Juliana Velasquez. And across the cage, her adversary out of the red corner. At 5'5", she weighed in tonight 125.3 pounds. Her professional record, 6 wins, 2 losses. Fighting out of Pacific, Missouri, introducing Ruthless Rebecca Ruth. In charge of the action, your referee, Mark Wassam.
Our referee is Mark Wassam. 3 5-minute rounds in the Bellator MMA Women's Flyweight Division.
Fight you ready. Fight you ready. Here we go. Fight.
Fight clock brought to you by Miller Lite. Great taste and only 96 calories. Relentless Rebecca Ruth is in the red gloves. Juliana Velasquez in the blue gloves. Velasquez coming off a second-round submission win over Nia Lang at Bellator 189 in December. That was the 31-year-old's Bellator debut and the first time at flyweight after she spent the majority of her career at 135.
Backing up, she's got to keep that chin down a little bit, man. Don't keep that thing up. It's bad. It's going to end up costing you the fight. The thing about Juliana is she has great grappling. She was on the national team for judo in Brazil. Does she use it here? That's the question.
Ruth has not fought since falling to current Bellator Women's Flyweight champion Alima Lay McFarlane in June of 2016. That snapped a 4-fight winning streak. Of course, McFarlane will defend the title against Alejandra Luna at Bellator 201. Much anticipated 125-pound championship tilt.
That is going to be a great fight. They match up. They do exactly the same thing.
Straight left hand down the middle by Velasquez. Inside low kick by the Brazilian fighter. Side kick by Ruth. Ruth, the mother of a 14-year-old son, a 10-year-old daughter, has suffered some injuries. She went back to work full-time as an estimator for a lighting company. And you talk about the sacrifices we all make in our daily lives, but man, when you have to deal with all of that and then have to step into a cage, come on, John.
It's the training for your time to step in the cage. That's where you got to be impressed with someone that can deal with all of those elements.
And Ruth with a flurry, marching forward against the southpaw Velasquez.
Good straight left hand by Velasquez. Landed.
Double
Goes for the
underhooks.
clinch. Real question here is she going to try to take her down? She seems to like to stand up and bang with her opponents instead of taking them to the mat, where she definitely has skills.
Yes, 2 of her 6 victories have come via strikes. Recorded the first submission win of her career in her Bellator debut. Ruth delivering a knee, trying to jockey for position along the fence.
One of the things that you're seeing here more with this clinch, and you see what Juliana's doing. Juliana's got double unders. You see Ruth has got those overhooks on those arms, but Ruth is the one having to work harder in this situation. A lot of times fighters are going to just drag this out because they're trying to wear their opponent down. Randy Couture was the greatest example of that.
Ruth trying to create separation. She started kickboxing at the age of 28. Was a perfect 9-0 in the amateur ranks. Was a St. Louis Golden Gloves champion in 2011. So she definitely has the striking panache. 2 minutes left in the first round. Velasquez stapling Ruth to the fence. Referee calling for some action.
There is action. You know, they're both working hard right here.
Well, he said if you don't get busy, I'm
you're
gonna
right.
split you up.
Oh, I know, you're right, but there's a lot going on. This is absolutely exhausting.
What do you think of us talking heads when we used to say that about you, John, in that cage?
You know what? The whole point of MMA is it's not a single style sport. It allows multiple elements, and you've got to let fighters work their game plan.
Well said. Just under 1.5 minutes left in the opening round. Slashing elbow strike by Ruth.
The one thing you see with Ruth, she keeps on using her left arm to get that frame to push Juliana's head out.
Oh, and it looked like Velasquez might have been going for that judo throw with that background. Separation created. 1:10 left. Ruth coming forward.
You see Ruth's mouthpiece a little bit hanging out. She's starting to breathe out her mouth. All that work on the cage is working and taking away the gas tank of Rebecca Ruth.
Ruth started her pro MMA career with 2 straight wins. Went down to 115, lost to UFC strawweight Jocelyn Jones-Lybarger. Returned to 125, rattled off 4 straight victories, including in her Bellator debut, and again coming off that defeat against the 125-pound queen, Alima Leigh McFarland. And what an ambassador of the sport McFarland is Ruth looking for the takedown. McFarland doing a lot for her community and for the sport.
Alima Leigh is doing great things. You know what? She's fun. And she's fun to watch in the cage. And her fight coming up, though, that's going to be a big test.
Well, we got a fun fight here in the women's flyweight division between Rebecca Ruth and Juliana Velasquez, who've gone 5 minutes.
Time. Round two.
31-year-old Juliana Velasquez, 39-year-old ruthless Rebecca Ruth. This is round 2. Ruth in the red gloves, Velasquez in the blue gloves. How do you have it after the first round, John?
After the first round, I have this fight 10 for Velasquez, 9 for Ruth. I was listening to the corner, and I've got Rebecca Ruth's corner saying it was a close round. Doesn't matter if it's a close round. You didn't win it.
Oh,
Go
good left hook that lands for Ruth. Ruth ghosting Velasquez, feinting, trying to open up. Good combination by the southpaw Velasquez.
That was a strong left hand.
Spread left, and now Ruth and Velasquez is exchanging before Velasquez circles away, resets, and comes forward.
At least what you're seeing with Juliana right now, see that movement of those angles and starting to laterally move instead of moving straight back. When she is in a position where Ruth starts to attack, you see she starts to go straight, just like she's doing right now. Straight back, she needs to start angling off.
Looks like Ruth was looking for that oblique kick, and Velasquez lunging forward, just really lunging with that left hand.
What Ruth's doing with that kick is she's trying to use it similar to a jab. Instead of it being with her hands. Exactly, but she's regulating the length and keeping Velasquez from closing that distance at that point.
Right hand that scored for Velasquez.
A little check hook by Ruth over the top.
The best check hooks I've seen, Floyd Mayweather on Ricky Hatton.
He does everything pretty good with the hands.
Not bad. 3 minutes left. Frank Mir's been spending some time at the Mayweather Boxing Club getting ready for his Bellator debut in a fight that has been dreamed about, and many thought that it would never take place, but Frank Mir will make his Bellator debut against Fedor. April 28th is part of the Bellator Heavyweight World Grand Prix, Rosemont, Illinois. Coming up on the second half of the round and this 3-round women's flyweight fight.
Juliana has stopped her production as far as being offensive. She's waiting, she's looking for the counter, but you can wait too long.
Inside low kick by Ruth. Ruth trying to come in at angles. But you're right, Velasquez has suddenly become a little bit more flat-footed here. 210, but Ruth unable to really do any damage, and then there sticks the jab.
Landed clean. Look at,
beautiful
nice.
shot there.
There you go.
And the right hand, and Ruth dropped Velasquez. Velasquez valiantly gets back up to her feet now with the tied plum, looking for some, well, I thought she was going to deliver knee. Wow! Straight left hand, drop Velasquez.
She's
drop
hurt.
Ruth. Ground and pound by Velasquez. Velasquez, after being dropped, gets up and drops Ruth. Scintillating stuff here in round 2. Coming up on the final 90 seconds.
What a sequence. She had her hurt and then turns around and gets hit by Juliana and drops. What a sequence between the two. And a lot of people are going to wonder, why is she doing this now? She got rocked. Moro, she got rocked by that shot. She happened to fight back through training. She fights back and hurts Ruth, but they were both hurt in that sequence.
Under a minute remaining in the second round. Velasquez putting pressure on Ruth, and the referee again warning them that if the action doesn't pick up, he will stand them up. But a beautiful sequence there that saw both. First Velasquez go down, and then she dropped Ruth. 30 seconds left in the round. And Velasquez backs up, and both of them on their feet. And again, they chuck leather.
Little tiny cut on Rebecca Ruth, and she's coming after again. These two girls are swinging. They're swinging for the fences. This is fun right now.
And again, the southpaw. Velasquez lands with a stiff left hand, backing up.
But backing up in a straight line is not good. That lateral movement, that's what you want.
Good job.
You watch the sequences. Watch when Ruth attacks. Watch the straight linear backing up that Juliana does. That you can't go back fast enough. That's not what you want. You want to change the angle. That's why she gets hit. Gets put down, gets up right away, and then lands a big shot right back on her with that left hand. She had a chance at a choke right there. I don't know why she didn't go for it. She decided, I'm going to go for the pounding, ground and pound. Ended up being able to survive that. Great job by both girls. Big shots taken by both in that round.
Here we go. Round 3, final round. Fight.
Third and final round, the show of respect as Ruth in the red gloves, Velasquez in the blue gloves, touch gloves, and now they're looking to touch each other up. What a sensational second round. How do you have it after 10 minutes, John? Oh, and again, Velasquez staggering Ruth, hurting Ruth. And this...
Time.
She got hit to the groin. It is, the rule is that fight's over.
Fight's
Can't
over.
tell if it was a groin or if it was the body. It looks like it was the body.
It was a legal
So
strike.
the referee's saying it was a legal shot. And just like that, Velasquez picks up the victory here in the final round, and she improves to 7-0 with her third knockout finish.
It just stunned her, stopped her in her tracks. Ball kick right to the middle of the stomach. That part of your foot, Mauro, is as hard as a rock at times, and when it jabs in, it just takes all your breath away.
So a terrific victory for Juliana Velasquez. And thus far in her Bellator career, she has 2 fights, 2 wins, 1 knockout, 1 submission. That's called winning, my man.
That was an impressive fight because she got hurt in that fight, and she fought back. Take a look.
Oh,
Just froze her. Just froze her. I didn't see it when it landed live, but man, it just hit her straight to the solar plex area. Takes her breath away, makes her stop. That's what the kick is for.
yeah, Juliana Velasquez stopping Rebecca Ruth in her tracks with that kick.
Ladies and gentlemen, inside the Bellator cage, it comes to an end officially. 19 seconds into round number 3. The winner by TKO, Juliana Velasquez.
Juliana Velasquez now 7-0 as she puts ruthless Rebecca Ruth in airplane mode.
When you look at this, look at both guys new to the sport of MMA. Simple records. 76-inch reach for Brock. He wants to keep it standing. 72. Baby Slice wants to bring it down.
With the official introductions, here's the voice of Bellator MMA, Michael C. Williams.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome tonight live on Paramount Network. Miller Lite presents Bellator MMA. From the Family Arena here in St. Louis, we begin with 3 5-minute rounds in the welterweight division. Brought to you tonight by Boost Mobile. Get the best value in national prepaid wireless. Easy to switch, easy to save. And now, first introducing the blue corner. At 5'9", weighing in 160 pounds even, his professional record early on stands at 1-0. He fights out of Los Angeles, California. Dangerous Devon Brock. And across the cage, his adversary, fighting out of the red corner at 5'11", weighing in 159.8 pounds. As a professional, he stands at 2 victories, 1 defeat. By way of Miami, Florida, he fights out of Long Beach, California. Introducing Baby Slice. In charge of the action, your referee, Mark Wassam.
Fight, you ready? Fight, you ready? Here we go. Fight!
Well, I guess Jason Voorhees wasn't pleased with my comment about Friday the 13th. We apologize for technical difficulties. We are in the early moments of round number 1. Baby Slice, with all of the pressure on his shoulders thanks to his family tree. He says it's not just about representing his father, it's about proving to himself that he can be the man in MMA. And of course, well, Devon Brock, he only defeated a son of a MMA legend, Hoist Gracie's boy, Conry Gracie, as Brock made his pro and Bellator debut at Bellator 192 in January.
I never thought anyone could sign.
Oh,
big shot right
hand
there.
by Baby
He's
Slice,
right into...
and down goes Brock. Brock gets rocked by Baby Slice. And he's slicing him up with those elbows.
Slice is doing the right thing, sitting back for that choke. It's got a good chance. Look at what he's doing. It's over.
And this is what separates Baby Slice from his father, Kimbo. Baby Slice has a ground game. Baby Slice has just improved to 3-1 with a rear naked choke. Mamma mia, what a start to Bellator 197. Here's the replay presented by Blackheart Premium Spiced Rum, the bold 93 proof rum that's edgy to the core. It's the official rum of Bellator MMA.
Look at the right hand hit right behind the ear. That stuns you. And you cannot explain to someone how that takes your legs away. Starts getting them out, pounds, grabs for the rear naked choke, sits back, doesn't quite have everything you want as far as both hooks, but great job by Baby Slice to do the right thing to end the fight.
And just like Blackheart Premium Spiced Rum and Coke, Baby Slice puts Devon Brock on ice.
That right there shows you the power of Baby Slice. He's got heavy hands. That shot behind the ear put him in a position he could not control his body. Baby Slice gets mount, hits with a bunch of shots here, and then smartly goes to the rear naked choke to end the fight.
Baby Slice with 2 submissions, one via guillotine choke and one tonight via rear naked choke. We'll make it official when Bellator 197 returns.
Ladies and gentlemen, inside the Bellator cage, it comes to an end officially. 34 seconds into round number 1. The tap by way of a rear naked choke. The winner by submission, Baby Slice.
Baby Slice improving to 3-1. Let's go to Big John McCarthy.
Come here, stud. I've had the pleasure of standing in this cage with your dad, and I am definitely excited to be standing here with you. That was a display of power. Tell me about that right hand and how you hit it.
I mean, me and my coach, Antonio McKee, and at Team Body Shop, Team Kimbo, we was working on an overhand right left hook. We saw him drop it a lot in his fight with Hoystein, so I was trying to set it up, but I waited till we got close and, let it loose.
Well, then you went after him with some heavy strikes. What made you decide I'm going to the rear naked choke?
It's position before submission first, but I realized the ground and pound wasn't working, man. The guy has a hard head. So I saw the opening, and I knew he was, his equilibrium was off a little bit from the punch and the punches, and I saw it, so I took advantage.
What is next for Baby Slice? Who do you want?
I think we should go to Miami, do a fight there. There's a couple guys on the list that I want to fight in Miami, so let's see if we can set that up. But, I'm going right back to training, right back in, putting in the work, and I just want to thank all my sponsors, Protein Candy, Planet's #1 Fitness Jerky, and Rich Recovery, High Five Hand Therapy. All those guys, thank you, man.
Congratulations on an impressive victory. Ladies and gentlemen, your winner, Baby Slice.
Tale of the Tape brought to you by Dave & Buster's, the only place to eat, drink, play, and watch sports.
Both of these guys, look at those records, 7-0, 8-1. Joaquin Buckley wants to change that O into something else.
Here's Michael C. Williams.
Presented by Miller Lite. Bellator MMA live on Paramount Network continues now in the welterweight division, scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds. We introduce the blue corner. At 5'10", weighing in 168.3 pounds. His professional record, near perfect, 8 wins, just 1 loss. He fights out of St. Louis, Missouri. Introducing Joaquin New Mesa Buckley. And across the cage is the adversary, fighting out of the red corner. At 5'9", weighing in 170.6 pounds, undefeated as a professional. He brings 7 victories, no defeats, fighting out of Webster, South Dakota, Logan Storley. In charge of the action, your referee, Jason Herzog.
Referee Jason Herzog assigned duties in this welterweight contest. Logan Storley forced to go the distance for the first time in his 7th straight win to begin his MMA career. Joaquin Buckley, who turns 24 in 2 weeks, says he's going to knock out Storley in the first round. Fight Clock, brought to you by Miller Lite. Great taste and only 96 calories. Storley in the red gloves, Buckley in the blue.
You look at the styles here. When you're looking at Buckley, he's got that southpaw style, but
Lightning quick level change.
Logan works out with Robbie Lawler, another southpaw, and he's used to getting hit with heavy shots.
Buckley trying his best to stave off the full effect of this takedown by Storley, a decorated high school and college wrestler.
He's an outstanding wrestler. You will see how he's staying with it, pricking the hips up. what Buckley's doing, keeping that hand on the ground, that's so important for him to stay in a position where Logan can't score this takedown.
Storley started wrestling at the age of 5, went to Webster High School in South Dakota and the University of Minnesota. And again, as we mentioned, Brock Lesnar went to both of those places of education as Buckley finds himself pinned against the fence by Storley here, 1 minute gone.
Finally, you see Logan Storley, he takes that right hand away, takes away the base that Joaquin has, and now he's got him in a position where he wants him on the ground where he cannot be damaged.
Storley started training mixed martial arts at 15 years of age.
He had his first MMA fight in high school.
Yeah, 16. He told us that he thinks Buckley is a tough kid. He's looking to just keep improving each and every fight. And don't forget, you can download the all-new Bellator MMA Global app now and take Bellator wherever you go. Watch all TV cards with no delay by authenticating with your cable provider. You can also find the most updated schedule of events and detailed fighter info available now on iOS and Android.
The half guard position you're seeing Logan in right now, this is a position wrestlers love. They feel comfortable here. They utilize the power in their hips to keep their opponent down. And you see him starting to move his head, starting to slide it underneath Joaquin Buckley's arm. He can set up a good head and arm triangle choke if he gets that position.
Buckley coming off a split decision win over Vinicius de Jesus at Bellator 185 last October. Now Storley trying to improve his positioning. Buckley is trying to control his posture as we near the midpoint of the opening round. Dominant control by Logan Storley.
And the big thing you're seeing here, you see this hip-to-hip position that Storley keeps creating. Buckley's working hard to move and to try to get him out, get his back against the fence.
Buckley trying to get to his feet, but now giving up his back.
Storley breaking down one leg of that table, but he couldn't get the arm away.
Storley told us that once Buckley started feeling the effects of his wrestling, starting to really feel that pressure, that's when he's going to break Buckley's spirit. Less than 2 minutes now remaining in the opening frame.
Well, the effect of that wrestling, Moro, is the grind. It's all that pressure and all that, when it's making you work, it starts to wear you down.
And of course, we invite you to be a part of the social media confabulation. Hashtag Bellator 197. Coming up on the final 90 seconds of the first round, Storley showcasing his wrestling pedigree and keeping Buckley on the mat.
He's making Buckley work. Buckley, you can see he's a strong dude. He's getting good results by using power, but power eventually wears you out, and you've got to start using smart technique.
Buckley has never been submitted. His lone loss via knockout.
Right here you see
side control by Storley.
Exactly. Logan going into side control, but he likes that half guard. He actually stepped into it. He would rather be in half guard because he feels he has more control with the pressure from his hips.
Going in, it was thought that Buckley was the most capable wrestler that Storley has faced. Storley has been working with the likes of former Strikeforce UFC champion Robbie Lawler, former Strikeforce UFC champion Luke Rockhold. So iron sharpening iron in the career of Logan Storley.
I'll tell you what, when you've got guys like that you're learning from, your evolution just speeds up, and that's what you're seeing out of Logan Storley. This is a smart game plan for Logan Storley with what he's doing with a very explosive, strong, hard-hitting competitor in Buckley.
The story is Storley in the opening 5 minutes of this matchup here at Bellator 197. Ground and pound to close out the round as Corner Cam brought to you by Boost Mobile. Easy to switch, easy to save. Let's go to Jen Brown.
Well, thanks, Moro. Certainly a lot of hype surrounding undefeated AJ McKee, but he'll be the first to admit that in his last fight against Brian Moore, he did have some trouble. He felt like he relied a little bit too much on his natural athletic ability. He took some shortcuts in his camp. So to get ready for Justin Moore, the more experienced fighter tonight, he said he's not going to make those same mistakes. He said, look, in that second round against Brian Moore, I was gassed. I didn't feel like I had power. So this camp, he had a full 8-week training camp. He focused on speed. He focused on power. And he said, we are going to see a stronger, faster AJ McKee inside the cage tonight.
All right, thanks, Jen. We'll look forward to seeing that matchup coming up. But right now it is round 2 between Logan Storley in the red gloves and Joaquin Buckley sporting the blue gloves. Our unofficial scorecard belongs to John McCarthy as Storley looking for the ankle pick. How'd you see the first 5, John?
First 5 easy, goes to Storley, 10-9.
And Storley again trying to utilize world-class wrestling. And it's funny, you look at his record, 7-0, 6 knockouts, going the distance for the first time in his last fight where he repeatedly took down Matt Secor en route to that unanimous decision victory.
He did, and you look at what's going on here again. He's getting into the hips of Joaquin Buckley. Buckley's utilizing that right arm to post and keep himself in a position where Storley can't put his back to the mat. But what you want to see, if you're in, there you go, take a look at what Logan's doing. That's smart wrestling. Start to bring the feet together, close it off. He turns his back. Now you're in a position you can decide, I want to bring a hook in or utilize good heavy hips to get position.
Well, the Bellator MMA family looking in as Adam Piccolotti cannot wait for the main event. He is looking forward to seeing Brandon Girtz in action and supporting Brandon Girtz's support dog, Vici, who is, of course, ubiquitous wherever Brandon Girtz is. And, of course, Adam Piccolotti, looking forward to seeing him back in action. 90 seconds have elapsed here in round 2.
It was hard to see, but Logan Storley had a really nice right arm lace on Joaquin Buckley's arm, and that was causing Buckley some problems. He finally got it free, but now we're back to that half guard position where Logan Storley feels so comfortable. You see that buck with the hips right there, Morrow? That's him trying to move that position, and Logan Storley keeps his hips pressed right into Joaquin Buckley's hips. Heavy pressure. This is a grinding, hard position to be in if you're Joaquin.
Logan Storley involved in the great outdoors a lot in his spare time. Loves to wake surf, do a little bit of hiking. He loves doing things outdoors and now getting things done inside the confines of the Bellator MMA cage, midpoint of the round and fight, and he continues to stymie Joaquin Buckley.
He is absolutely just shutting down what Joaquin does. And sometimes when you get into it, when you're walking into the fight more, you think, I can deal with this pressure. I can deal. If he gets me down, I know what I'm going to do. And then when you're in that position, you feel a pressure that you've never felt before, and it's hard for you to deal with. He's got him back, tries to get a butterfly hook inside, can't do it, still into that half guard position. What you're not seeing out of Logan is he's not posturing and starting to bring down heavy shots. That's what he needs to start to bring into his game.
Under 2 minutes left in round 2, and the crowd isn't chanting 2, by the way.
What they're chanting is, I want more, and that's normal. But if you're Logan Storley, you know this is what you need to do to win this fight. If I have Joaquin on his back, he can't hit me with those heavy hands, and I can do damage to him.
5 of Buckley's 8 victories have come via his striking, but he has been stapled to the mat by Logan Storley.
Logan
Junior Hodge Trophy winner in high school. Was the captain of his various wrestling teams, and yet you want to see him improve his position here. What can Storley do to silence the Boo Birds?
He did.
Going right now to ground.
He's in full mount now, and what I want to see out of him now is, hey, keep your hips down on him, that's fine, but I want you to arch up and start to posture and start bringing damage down on Joaquin Buckley.
Why isn't he doing that, John? I know you're not a mind reader, but the opportunity's there. Why isn't he doing it?
Because he can feel what's there with Joaquin. He feels the strength, and he doesn't want to lose the position. He wants to keep himself on top of him in a position where he can't be hurt. So he's just trying to put pressure that's going to wear Joaquin out, but Joaquin's in shape. There you go.
Ground and pound now from full mount.
There you go.
Logan Storley winding up as Buckley just shelling up now, trying to roll with these strikes from Logan Storley. 15 seconds left in the round, and it has been one-way traffic. Logan Storley with the takedown and the ground and pound here in this welterweight matchup. Round 3 coming up. Round 3. Referee Jason Herzog calls for the bell. Fight clock brought to you by Miller Lite. Great taste and only 96 calories. How do you have it after 2 rounds, John, on your unofficial scorecard?
Well, unofficially and easily, it's 10-9, 10-9 for Logan Storley against.
Oh, Buckley fought off that takedown attempt momentarily. But Storley pushing through.
You can look and see what is occurring in this fight, although it can be where a lot of people go, well, it's boring. It's not if you're Logan Storley, because not only are you winning the fight, you're also learning. You're learning what you can do, and even in that last position you saw when he was mounted, he started to change position and start to do damage. That's what he knows he now can do.
And Buckley starting to drop elbows. Partisan crowd for Joaquin Buckley out of St. Louis, representing Finney's MMA. Jason Finney, a staple in the St. Louis MMA scene.
Jason Finney been here forever, fought, done everything, man. He's an institution here with MMA.
Another takedown by Storley, takes away the tripod and now goes right into half guard.
Got into full guard, stepped over into half guard again, but we should see Logan Storley start to progress that position. He knows he can move to a mount, and he knows that he can do damage from there.
What are you instructing Buckley to do if you're in his corner?
You know, with Buckley's corner, the last thing they told him at the end of the round was, hey, you got to be explosive, you got to do something. Here, you see that post with the arm? He's trying to knee shield. He needs to move. I've got to take a risk. I'm already losing this fight. I can't stay on my back and just hold on. You've got to open up, take a risk, go for it.
Storley controlling from side control, but not delivering any weapons. The knee strikes are there. The legendary El Guapo Boss Rutan, my former partner and your great friend, always used to expound and really sing the praises of side control because of the various weapons.
And it opens things up. No, everyone looks and you go, I got hit, you got hit by the knee. It makes you move. And when you make someone move, you have an opening that you can do something. Instead of just sitting with pressure right here, pressure on the chest, using his head as a third arm, if you start to strike, you're going to open things up.
Now, Storley takes the back. Coming up on the final 2.5 minutes of the fight. I say fight, but it really has been a mugging by Logan Storley, utilizing his wrestling pedigree.
See, right there, he has the chance at a head and arm choke, and he lets it pass by. That's just that education of MMA. He needs to evolve a little bit more, and he'll feel those things in the moment instead of letting them pass. Right now, we'd want to see Logan Storley start to bring knee on belly, start to put pressure to the hip area of Joaquin. That's the type of progression you're looking for from him as an MMA fighter.
Storley told us that the fight with Buckley was about letting the welterweight division know that he's here and that he's for real. Well, his wrestling pedigree is for real. Dominant control. The Bellator MMA welterweight champion, one of the best fighters in any division, Rory McDonald. What a fight against Douglas Lima. Nice pass by Storley.
It was a nice pass, but again, he's leaving things open. Instead of bringing your leg up high, slide your knee in there. There you go, Boss Rutan type. You see he's listening to you, Maul.
Now let's see some Kevin Randleman type. Those sky-high knee strikes. Weston Power, monster as Storley, just like a dog on a bone, just Buckley unable to get rid of the stymieing attack, the smothering of Logan Storley.
See, you saw Joaquin was thinking of trying to hit the switch. He can't reach it. He's in a position now, he's just been out wrestling, and at this point, he doesn't know how to stop the wrestling ability of Logan Storley.
And Buckley can't stop the clock, only 52 seconds remaining.
This is one of those frustrating fights. If you're Joaquin Buckley, you come out of this and go, I didn't even get hurt, and I lost a fight. How did that happen to me? Well, it happened because you got out-wrestled by a wrestler.
Storley looking to improve to 3-0 under the Bellator banner. Buckley is 3-1.
Good knee to the body. At least he's starting to think about opening things up.
Final 15 seconds of this welterweight matchup between Logan Storley and Joaquin Buckley. And it will go the distance here at Family Arena just outside St. Louis. And Buckley's fans singing the blues. Here's the replay brought by Blackheart Premium Spiced Rum, the bold 93 proof rum that's edgy to the core, the official rum of Bellator MMA.
You know, the story of this fight right there, look at the takedown. Logan Storley had a wrestling ability that he could put the fight where he wanted it, and Joaquin Buckley couldn't stop him. He gets mount, even in this position there when he's opening up, posturing up, that's the difference. You saw the little shots, and then he goes for the big one. He's got to start going for the big ones more.
We will find out. And I have a sneaking suspicion we know who's going to be the winner. The official decision coming up next. We are set and ready for the official decision. Here's Michael C. Williams.
Ladies and gentlemen, having gone the distance inside the Bellator cage, will go to your 3 judges. Your first judge, Rob Francis, scores the fight 30-27, while judges Sal Diamato and Chris Lee both see the fight the same, 30-26. All have it for the winner by unanimous decision, Logan Storley.
Logan Storley improves to 8-0 overall, 3-0 in the Bellator cage, and he is now going to speak to Big John McCarthy.
Come on over here, stud. Hey, you just put on a wrestling clinic. You used every kind of technique out there. Beautiful transitions, single leg into blast doubles, everything. How you feeling?
I feel great. You know, I wish I could have got the finish, made it more exciting, but at the end of the day, I got the win. So my record's 8-0, still undefeated, so I don't know what else you want.
I want to know, tell me what you feel about your progression now that you're training with guys like Robbie Lawler and everyone down in Florida. How is that helping you become a better fighter?
The biggest thing I felt tonight was stepping in this cage, and it felt like home. I wasn't worried, I wasn't too over nervous, and I just went in there and I did my job. I listened to my corners and I got the W.
It was an impressive performance. Ladies and gentlemen, your winner, Logan Storley.
Hey, thank you, St. Louis.
Logan Storley representing Hard Knocks 365. Featherweight action on tap. Tail of the tape brought to you by Dave & Buster's, the only place to eat, drink, play, and watch sports.
Both still young fighters, very comparable, but look at the reach difference. AJ McKee, if he keeps Justin to the outside, that's how he wins.
Here's Michael C. Williams.
Bellator MMA, presented by Miller Lite, now features tonight's co-main event, 3 5-minute rounds in the featherweight division. And now, live on Paramount Network, we introduce the blue corner. At 5'8", weighing in 145.8 pounds. His professional record, 11 wins, 4 losses, fighting out of San Diego, California, by way of St. Louis, Missouri, introducing the American Kid, Justin Lawrence. And across the cage, his adversary, fighting out of the red corner, at 5'10", weighing in 145.8 pounds. As a professional, he's undefeated at 10-0. He fights out of Long Beach, California, presenting AJ, the Mercenary McKee. In charge of the action, your referee, Mike England.
Right. Okay, fellas, gave you instructions and directions. You got any questions, sir? Any questions? Touch them up right here. God bless you. Come out fighting.
Intense stare down on the part of the undefeated, highly focused AJ McKee. Mike England is your referee.
You ready, sir? You ready, sir? Let's fight. First round.
Fight clock brought to you by Miller Lite. Great taste and only 96 calories. McKee in the red gloves, Lawrence in the blue gloves. And I don't know why when I look at Mike Lawrence, or make that Justin Lawrence, I'm reminded of Mike Pyle. I want to wish Quicksand well in retirement.
I know why you see the same thing. It's that
South mullet. Southpaw McKee. Trying to put it on Lawrence already. Front kick. Tempo karate front kick, as our friend Angelo Reyes would say.
Exactly. We talked to Justin likes fighting southpaws. He thinks he's got the He's got the antidote to southpaws. It usually gives people problems. That was a nice kick to the body right there.
Wicked right body kick by Justin Lawrence. Mauro Ranallo, John McCarthy, Jen Brown, and the rest of our Bellator MMA crew with you. Our family coming to you from Family Arena, just outside of St. Louis. You're watching undefeated A.J. McKee against Justin Lawrence. Lawrence looking to tag McKee with the right hand.
Justin's doing a good job as far as look at where he is in the cage. That's going to keep AJ from being able to utilize that wrestling and get him against the cage and start to beat him up. He's positioning himself in the proper place to stop that.
Southpaw McKee tagging Lawrence with that combination. Lawrence with the single, looking to run the pipe. McKee back up on his feet along the fence.
Little swing of position, and you see when someone gets close to the cage, that fighter starts to, I'm going to come in, see if I can clinch, see if I can take you down. Nice exit by A.J. McKee.
And one of our Bellator MMA champions, Darian Caldwell, he's happy that the mullet is back on his Friday the 13th. As McKee dropping Lawrence momentarily, McKee looking for that guillotine choke.
That was a vicious body kick. It landed solid.
Good exchange.
Both guys going for it here. I thought this was going to be a great fight. Both do what they do very well. Justin Lawrence has had some losses in his career, but it's always been to really talented guys. And some of them you can even look and say, he had a split decision loss. He didn't lose that fight.
McKee has 5 first-round finishes.
AJ utilizing that jab, he's sticking it. If he keeps doing that, it's going to give Justin problems.
Lawrence has 4 victories via first-round knockout or submission, 3 KOs and a sub, just past the midway point of the opening round. Outside low kick by McKee, countered by a quick combination from Lawrence.
Both guys, they're opening up, but they're both
beautiful 1-2 combination by McKee right on the button.
And you see the response by Justin Lawrence. That's what a seasoned fighter does. He doesn't just accept. He says, if you're going to try to get me, I'm going to get you back.
Lawrence in his 16th professional fight. This is pro fight number 11 for McKee. Oh, axe kick, a la Andy Hook.
It was an axe kick or a hook kick, but it was close. Nice right hand by McKee.
Open stance, final 90 seconds of the first frame.
And as you're watching this more, the slight difference you're seeing is, there you go, that axe kick right there. The slight difference you're seeing is the shots landed by AJ right now are a little more powerful.
Sharp jab by McKee, and Lawrence firing back after eating it and saying, yeah, it tasted okay. How does this taste?
AJ is looking really good with that head position. He's bringing his head off center when he attacks. That's what a seasoned fighter does.
Wow, switch kick by McKee. Lawrence displaying a vibranium chin here in the first round. 45 seconds left. A fencing-like jab from McKee.
But it's long and it's touching him, and you got to be impressed with it. AJ is sliding in on his feet and touching Justin when Justin thinks he's too far away.
And again, a lightning quick 1-2 from distance, but McKee is in range to score. Under 30 seconds left, and of course, McKee looking to exploit that huge reach advantage.
I'm really impressed with the way Justin is at least controlling the position in this fight. He's keeping that pressure.
Fun opening 5 minutes here as we watch McKee and Lawrence. McKee firing off a left body kick, another body kick, corner cam, brought to you by Boost Mobile. Easy to switch, easy to save.
Yeah, but throw straight. Don't get in a bang with him because short, he's throwing hard.
Let's check in with Jen Brown.
Thanks, Mauro. Here backstage with Brandon Girtz as he's getting ready for this upcoming main event against Michael Chandler. Now, one thing to note, that in his corner tonight will be Neil Melanson, who is Michael Chandler's longtime former grappling coach. He was with Michael Chandler for 19 of his last 21 fights. Now, Brandon Girtz says that gives him the edge. The question is, how will that affect Michael Chandler tonight, Mauro? We will only wait and see.
And we are waited with bated breath what should be a barn burner, and we have the makings of a good one here as we get into round number 2. Undefeated A.J. McKee at 10-0 in the red gloves. The veteran, Justin Lawrence. Yes, the veteran, named the American Kid in the blue gloves. How do you have it after the first round, John?
First round, I got to give it to McKee, 10-9. But both guys are doing really good things inside of this cage.
A little capoeira.
A little capoeira.
McKee wanting to establish that pool cue jab. Doing a good job of parrying Lawrence.
And what you're seeing out of McKee with that pairing, you see that right hand, he's slapping and he's just timing because he wants to slap and come over the top with a counter.
Oh, Lawrence connects, left hook. Combination of that combo. Bellator Heavyweight World Grand Prix continues April 28th with a heavily anticipated fight as Fedor faces Frank Mir in the Bellator cage to see who will advance. And we want you to head over to the official Bellator YouTube channel to check out the countdown to Fedor versus Mir. A long-time dream fight comes to fruition later this month.
The one thing I think you got to see out of Justin Lawrence, when he's making these attacks, he can't stop them. Don't go for that 1-2. You've got to start to create more opportunity.
And the shot from McKee.
Beautiful, beautiful job as far as when you saw McKee come in, but you saw the quick hips going back. Justin Lawrence made that look like it had no chance.
McKee said this was the most motivated he's been. This was the hardest that he has trained. What improvements have you seen?
I'll tell you what I've seen is his composure in the fight, and when he's lulling Justin into trying to attack him, and then his counters, you look, see that simple slap of that hand, and then the counter.
Oh, beautiful.
And then the big left hand coming down the pipe, because you're watching his footwork. He's stepping outside of Justin Lawrence's left foot.
What a soft kick there by McKee for Lawrence. How does he navigate these turbulent waters and close the distance?
If you're watching what Justin's doing, he's starting to follow AJ. He needs to cut him off. When AJ takes a step outside of his foot, don't follow him to it. Cut it off and attack with that right hand.
Just past the midpoint of the round and the fight. McKee keeping Lawrence at bay. Outside low kick. Lawrence maybe even hurt as he's retreating.
He might have felt something when he hit the ground there. Something happened.
Chopping down at that lead leg.
And you can see that from that moment, he has continually went backwards. See the way he's stepping?
Got a problem with his left foot, I believe, left ankle. Left body kick from McKee. Lawrence now in survival mode. Under 2 minutes left in the second round. But never discount the heart, the courage, the guile of Justin Lawrence. He knows this is an opportunity that he needs to bite down and seize the moment. Those were his words.
If you go back and you can look at that,
left kick.
You'll see that Justin Lawrence rolled his ankle, stepped up on his toe, and rolled his ankle over. That was the problem he had.
Remember, Michael Chandler in his lightweight title fight with Brent Primus suffered a sprained foot injury. He was supposed to challenge Primus in the rematch coming up in the main event. Primus out with an injury. So Chandler will collide with Brandon Girtz, taking the fight on less than a month's notice.
We're going to have to wait and see if we start to see any swelling in that left ankle area. But that was what caused Justin Lawrence to have to back off and have problems for that short amount of time. He rolled that ankle, and it obviously caused some damage.
Under a minute left in the second round, and McKee attacking that injured ankle. Good cage awareness.
Look, that's called fight intelligence here. A lot of people go, oh, that's not fair. That's what you do in a fight.
Good counter right hand by Lawrence as McKee was off balance after launching another left kick. Blood under the left eye of Lawrence. 30 seconds left in the round. Oh, what a hook kick there by McKee, and Lawrence took it and keeps staying in the pocket. Great round of action. AJ McKee, Justin Lawrence, the third and final round is straight ahead.
You can see right here, watch Justin Lawrence's left foot. He takes a step up on his toe, it flips out, and then watch the response when he goes back on his toe. He cannot control the leg. He did some damage to that ankle.
Great work in the truck as we are into round number 3. AJ McKee in the red gloves, Justin Lawrence in the blue gloves. Your unofficial score after 10 minutes.
No doubt about it, 10-9, 10-9 for McKee. He's won both the first and second. Justin's got to turn it on here in the third.
McKee looking for the takedown, the attempted sprawl against the fence by Lawrence, doing a good job of staving off this takedown attempt. And Lawrence said that he needed to use good footwork and his fight IQ.
He's getting a good splay of his legs right here. You see that what AJ's trying to do is get his hands together, and he can't because of the splay in the legs. He should switch this off to a single leg right now.
Lawrence started fighting when he was just 6. His father, his stepdad, but he considers him his dad, Benny Boyles, had him in the gym early.
And people will see that knee going to the thigh and they think, oh, that's no big deal. Just have someone take a baseball bat and stick the end of it down into your thigh, and you'll have an idea of what it feels like to have that knee hit you.
Highly touted Bellator prospect Aaron Pico cheering on AJ McKee. Very happy for Baby Slice. Of course, they are a member of the Body Chop. They're actually called the Movement. They consider themselves the Three Musketeers.
I'll tell you what, they can call themselves whatever they want. They're all tough.
Well, we saw Baby Slice record the 7th quickest submission in Bellator history to kick off Bellator 197. 34-second rear naked choke on Devon Brock. And here, the claret begins to flow in round number 3.
You take a look at the positioning. There's a lot of pressure that AJ is putting on Justin, but Justin has opened up. He's bloodied his nose a little bit. Justin needs to start to move his hips. Exactly. Get yourself out of that position.
Oh, and on the exit, the right head kick by McKee lands.
That exit is what we're talking about. That's the progression of a good fighter. He doesn't just sit there and let things happen. I'm going to get my last bit in.
Lead right hook by Lawrence, or excuse me, McKee. Lawrence saying that he wants McKee to fight of the southpaw stance. He said if you look back at his record, Lawrence has scored most of his knockouts against southpaws, but McKee has done well from that position.
Well, I can tell you right now, if you're looking at who has controlled the angles of the fight, that's AJ McKee. And so if you're gonna face a southpaw, you need to control that angle.
Side kick to the midsection by McKee, mixing up his attack here as he looks to improve. Looks to extend his Bellator record winning streak to 11. Lead left hand by Lawrence, but the response was a right body kick by McKee. 2 minutes left in the fight.
Very impressed with what AJ McKee has been doing in this fight. He's been under control, and he has absolutely given Justin problems with his stand-up game.
Right outside low kick, 1:45 left in the fight. An uptick in the offense required from Justin Lawrence as McKee explodes forward. Good head movement, good defense.
It was. Justin did the right thing, tried to come with that right hand on the exit. AJ just slipped right by.
Another side kick to the midsection by AJ McKee. Under 90 seconds left in the fight.
AJ sets that side kick up very cleanly. He's got good footwork, which hides what he's going to do.
Lawrence misses with a spinning back kick. McKee's goals: become a champion in Bellator, fight on the same card as his father as he level change, but good defense by Lawrence. And I know a lot of fans would love to see AJ McKee as we are into the final minute of this fight. He needs to take care of Justin Lawrence, but he and James Gallagher have been exchanging bars.
Oh, that is the one that they do not like each other.
Oh, and again, a kick on the release.
An interesting fight if they ever get them together.
Final 30 seconds in the fight. A moment of levity.
Well,
a graphic moment of levity.
Just a little bit of a farmer boy, that's all.
Under 20 seconds left. The jab from McKee, the kick by Lawrence. A.J. McKee looking to continue to make Bellator MMA history as he and Lawrence go the distance. Here is the replay presented by Blackheart Premium Spiced Rum, the bold 93 proof rum that's edgy to the core, the official rum of Bellator MMA.
Look at the length that A.J. McKee utilizes and the way he does things. In and out, strong, heavy jab, and making Justin miss as he's trying to come in with counters. Beautiful side kick, exit on the takedown attempt, kick to the face, kick to the body. Beautiful job.
The official decision when we come back. You're watching Bellator 197. Time for the official decision. Here is Michael C. Williams.
Ladies and gentlemen, having gone the distance, we'll go to your three judges at cage side. Sal Diamano, Travis Busking, and Justin Brown. All score the fight exactly the same, 30-27 for the winner by unanimous decision. Still undefeated AJ, the Mercenary McKee.
A.J. McKee extends his record Bellator MMA winning streak to 11. He's 11-0, and he's standing by with Big John McCarthy.
Every time I stand next to you, I feel older and older. That was the most impressive fight you have had in your career. How are you feeling right now?
I'm fantastic, man. I feel great. I'm ready for war. Thanks to Justin Lawrence, man. Everybody talk about who have I fought. I haven't fought anybody. Well, hey, now you see what it is when I fight somebody that's on my level, baby. Justin Lawrence is a hell of a fighter, and I thank him for taking a fight, not pulling out like the rest of these pussies in the division.
You did fight an incredibly tough fighter and a talented guy in Justin Lawrence. So who is it that you say you want next in this cage?
Well, speaking of pussies, I mean, the man called me a pussy, so hey, James Gallagher, you keep pulling out a fight, saying you're hurt, this, that. I want to get this father-son fight, so let me and my father fight the same night, break some world history records, and I'll whoop your ass the same night. Because the fans want to see it, homie. You're not Conor McGregor, you ain't nothing like him, and I'm going to expose you to the world, so let's do this shit, homie.
Congratulations, ladies and gentlemen, your winner, A.J. McKee.
A.J. McKee spilling some tea. He would like to meet James Gallagher, and I know I speak for the entire Bellator MMA fan base when they say yes, yes, yes.
Take a look at the records here. They're very similar. The one thing is both guys have fought the same guys, but have had different results, and that's the difference between these two.
Here's Michael C. Williams.
Ladies and gentlemen, live on Paramount Network, Miller Lite presents Bellator MMA from the Family Arena. The time has come for the main event of the evening. 3 5-minute rounds in the lightweight division. Sanctioned by the Missouri Office of Athletics. Executive Director is Mr. Tim Lukanoff. Tonight's main event brought to you by Miller Lite. Great taste and only 96 calories. And now introducing the blue corner first. At 5'7", weighing in 156 pounds even. His professional record, 15 wins, 7 defeats, fighting out of Minneapolis, Minnesota by way of Denver, Colorado, Brandon Girtz. And across the cage, his adversary, fighting out of the red corner, at 5'8", weighing in 155.3 pounds, the Division I All-American out of the University of Missouri. Tonight stands with 17 professional victories, 4 defeats. Fighting out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida, by way of Nashville, Tennessee. He hails originally from High Ridge, Missouri. Ladies and gentlemen, the two-time former Bellator lightweight world champion, Iron Michael Chandler. And when the bell rings, the referee in charge of the action, Jason Herzog.
Ferguson up. Fighters gone over the rules in the back. There were no final questions from you, Blue. There were no final questions from you, Red. If you want to touch gloves, do it now. Come out ready to fight.
Main event time. Referee Jason Herzog. 3 5-minute rounds scheduled in the Bellator MMA lightweight division. It may not be a title fight, but Michael Chandler knows he needs to keep the train rolling. Bouncing back from the loss of the title, Brandon Girtz says once he steals Chandler's soul, he deserves a title shot. They touch gloves. Fight Clock brought to you by Miller Lite. Great taste and only 96 calories. Chandler in the red gloves, Girtz in the blue gloves, and the southpaw Girtz explodes with a 1-2 combo.
You can see that Girtz has a very wide stance, and if Michael Chandler's smart, he's going to start taking advantage of that right leg sticking out there.
Of course, Chandler enjoyed plenty of success with his grappling coach, Neil Melanson. Melanson is in Girtz's corner tonight.
Okay? Time.
You got a touch of the groin here, Morrow, but the one thing, there was a moment in this round where you saw Michael Chandler take a funky step with his foot again and almost looked like he rolled his ankle the same as what he did in the Primus fight. Here's a look at the low blow. That comes straight up the middle. He takes it well, but look at the angle. Look at the step back. Boom, it does the twist again. But he does step through it, so it obviously didn't bother him, but it was a weird moment.
Chandler has up to 5 minutes to recover. He feels he pushes the pace harder than anybody at 155. Referee Herzog letting Brandon Girtz know that he has to keep those shots above the belt line, and of course this will also give Chandler an opportunity to recover from rolling that ankle as action resumes here in round number 1.
A lot of people are going to wonder, why did Jason take a point? Because you got hit the groin, just take a point no matter what. You don't just take points in MMA.
Girtz attacking Chandler.
You do things based upon the effect of that blow, and you could see that it didn't truly affect Michael Chandler in a bad way.
Chandler working with Henry Hoof now, sharpening his striking skills.
Watch your finger, Mike. You okay? Anytime? Anytime? Time.
And now Chandler with a poke to the eye. So Mr. Referee turned broadcaster, Big John McCarthy, when are we going to fix this situation? What can we do to fix it?
You're never going to completely fix it. What you're seeing is a defensive motion by Michael Chandler. Brendan Girtz takes and brings his hand out. Michael Chandler puts his hand down, and the thumb and fingers, because he's defensively trying to keep him at length, go into Brandon Girtz's face and maybe rolls into his eye. But with MMA, we have to have the fingers loose because we have to have grappling, and you're never going to be able to completely eliminate it.
So Kareem Abdul-Jabbar goggles are out of the question.
That's what we want to see, because that'll do wonders for cuts.
Referee bringing in the doctor.
And the reason Jason's bringing him in is Jason's not a doctor, and he looks and says, Brandon says he's fine, but I want to make sure that the doctor's looked at.
Girtz said he was fine when he had that Air Jordan logo carved into his forehead by Derek Campos, and I know you wanted the fight to continue, but it's up to the doctor.
That's it.
Bellator MMA lightweight champion Brent Primus, knowing what it feels like to be on the sideline. He wants the rematch with Chandler, win or lose. Girtz is a warrior, and he also forecasts a terrific fight. Things are just warming up here in round 1.
Most of the time with Brandon Girtz, he likes to come forward, but he is settling for looking for counters off of what Michael Chandler's doing. He's sitting back, he's waiting, and then he's trying to explode into him.
Girtz lands a counter right.
This is going to be one of those rocky moments where we have Michael Chandler landing with a right hand while Brandon Girtz lands with the left, and both guys are going to end up going down.
Michael Chandler already being involved in instant classics, the battles with Eddie Alvarez for the Bellator MMA Lightweight Championship. And there's Girtz putting it on Chandler. Chandler now looking for the takedown, blocked by Girtz, and on the exit, Girtz lands a short right uppercut up the middle.
All of that was beautiful motion by Girtz. He lands a beautiful check hook. Michael Chandler gets close, tries to tie him up. He gets back from him, and on the exit, lands a beautiful shot.
Under 2 minutes left in the first round.
I'm very impressed with the way Brandon is fighting. He's fighting in a composed fashion. You can see he's not trying to overextend.
The feint with the right hand and the takedown by Michael Chandler, using the whizzer to keep Girtz on the ground, and now looking for that crucifix as he's neutralized the right arm.
Exactly, and this is where we said we didn't want to see Brandon Girtz, and he tried to scramble his way out of it. You watched what Michael did with that.
He hung that right hand out.
Exactly, and he took the half Nelson to stop what he was doing. Right now, looking for that arm triangle choke. There you go.
And looking for the side choke and catch
it. It's done. I'm telling you right now, he's either going to tap out or go out.
He's out, he's out, he's out.
Michael Chandler has just equaled the Bellator MMA submission record. He now has 6 shared by the man he defeated prior to this fight, Goichi Yamauchi and Marcin Held. More importantly, Chandler improves to 18-4 as he vanquishes short notice replacement Brandon Girtz in the opening round. Bring on Chandler versus Primus 2.
Look at right here. Beautiful setup into the takedown. Gets his hips into him, brings him down. You see Girtz trying to use that wizard to get himself back. Great positioning by Michael Chandler. And when you see this arm up here, he can bring his head to that side. When his hands came together there, Morrow, Girtz is in trouble. He steps off to that side. He should have blocked that. You can see at this point, he is going to go out. He has no choice.
He's out, he's out, he's out.
Girtz gets submitted for the second time in his career, but again, hats off for taking the fight on less than a month's notice. For Michael Chandler, returning to his home state of Missouri and making it a victorious return, as we will make it official. Iron Michael Chandler victorious in the Bellator 197 main event. Michael Chandler has just set another Bellator MMA record with his 15th win, the most in Bellator MMA history. Let's make it official with Michael C. Williams.
Ladies and gentlemen, inside the Bellator cage, the head and arm choke ends it officially 4 minutes into round number 1 for the winner by submission iron, Michael Chandler.
Chandler's family celebrating with him here at Family Arena as we salute Michael Chandler. Another impressive victory, and he is joining our Big John McCarthy.
You get to come over here with me. Congratulations, Michael Chandler. That is the 15th victory you have had in this Bellator cage, and that is the most of any fighter ever. Congratulations there.
Thank you, man. It's an honor to step in this cage, man. It's an honor to wake up with 2 capable arms, 2 capable legs, to be able to do something great. And this is something I will never, ever take for granted. And I thank everybody for coming out.
I want to talk to you about how you got that finish. That was a beautiful head and arm choke. You actually separated his shoulder, and he decided instead of tapping out, he was going out. How did you feel with that?
I actually felt him crumble a little bit there, I think, on the slam. And so I knew something was kind of wrong. But, man, I knew this is the kind of guy, Brandon Girtz is the kind of guy we need in this sport, the guy who wants to step up, the guy who wants to challenge himself, the guy who wants to take on one of the best lightweights in the world and not even bat an eyelash.
Talk to me about what is next for you, brother.
Who knows, man? The future is bright. And I'm excited to see what the future holds. I got a lot more fights left in me. I just now hit my prime. So I might be fighting in my 40s. We'll find out.
Well, whoever it is you fight, I cannot wait to see it. Ladies and gentlemen, your winner, Iron Michael Chandler.
Michael Chandler staying true to his word, not uttering the name of Brent Primus, who is the Bellator MMA lightweight champion, and his family's in the cage. He celebrates the Bellator record wins, 15, the most stoppage wins, 11, and he is now tied for most submission wins with 6. A history-making night for Missouri's own Iron Michael Chandler.